Shout out to the monkey gang, the great apes. The club swinging, they asking for my singing. She feeling the banana backstage. What a feeling, what a feeling. Monkey gang chilling. What a feeling, king of the top villain.
Hey everyone, Fiction Ape here, back with another video, and I know there have been a huge bump, and I haven't posted in a long time, and I'm sorry, I honestly have no excuse. But I have been putting work in on two new videos. They're both going to be video essays, well produced. One is going to be a My Hero video that I'm not going to reveal the title yet and everything because I want it to be a surprise. And the other is going to be the Denji analysis, which has been a long time in the making, but his character is, well, if you've read Chainsaw Man, you know, it's a bit hard to work. It's going to be more effort than I've put in any other video, I'd say, probably, hopefully. Anyways, so another news, I started streaming on Twitch now. And if you guys want to watch, I'm going to put it in the description. It's just Fiction Ape. I go by Fiction Ape in literally every platform. It's just my universal @. Sorry, I'm just getting through all these intros so I can go into the Jujutsu Kaisen content, which, holy hell, I have a lot to talk about. Anyways, so there are going to be changes to the channel. And I'm not going to be doing the Ape reviews the way that I used to do, because of Shueisha copyright strikes. I don't know if you guys heard, but like a month ago or something, they started copyrighting people on Twitter, on Instagram, literally for just posting manga panels. So for the safety of my channel and to keep it growing and to not go through that same scare of getting my channel deleted again, I am gonna have to stop doing that. And I'm just gonna be doing videos like this where I talk and then I'll put edited scans or just scans and then claim for use later. We'll see how it goes as it goes. And yeah, another change is that I'm probably going to just stick to what I'm good at or what I'm best at, because I feel like my channel has been a little bit of a jack of all trades, master of none type of thing. So like I've been talking about series that like I like and I'm caught up and I enjoy, but I'm not really like proficient enough to be given any meaningful commentary on meaningful theories or meaningful opinions on. So I decided to stick more to what I'm good at. If I had to give a summary probably of what these series are going to be that I have a lot more to talk about, it's probably going to be currently Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, possibly One Piece and Black Clover. I've said before, I'm not the biggest Black Clover fan, but I did reread the entire manga, so I think I know a lot of what's going on, more than the average Joe. But yeah, we'll see. I also picked up on Let and Luck, and I really recommend it. It's a really fun manga. It's only like 49 chapters long right now, so I don't know, if it keeps getting better and better, I might also add that to my repertoire of stuff that I'm good and understand. Oh yeah, I forgot about Chainsaw Man. Yeah, definitely gonna make videos about Chainsaw Man. I read Chainsaw Man I think like 3 times now, and I'm gonna slow down because I feel like I'm talking fast. But yeah, it's because I had a lot of things to get out of the way. But now we can begin with Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 137, and what a chapter. If you guys are wondering why I'm looking to the side, I literally have like pages and pages of notes for stuff that I'm going to talk about. This video is going to be mostly unscripted, but I do have notes and bullet points so I don't get too off track. But whoa, okay, so this video's premise is Jujutsu Kaisen's world after the Shibuya incident. But it's mostly going to touch up on chapter 137 and just a few other important things and some theories that I have. But yeah, let's go into the chapter. The chapter itself was awesome. It added more to the world building that we had already been getting since the last 2 chapters. Now we know for a fact that Japan has collapsed. It's complete mayhem. There are 10 million, maybe more, cursed spirits in the country. And it's just havoc. And as Brain Ghetto said last chapter, there may be like thousands of evil Yuji Itadoris roaming around, and like not literally Yuji, but like similar. I wouldn't say similar, but like comparable power level, I guess. I mean, there's no other cursed spirit that's even remotely close to Sukuna, but you get what I'm saying. Like people who aid cursed spirits and are crazy strong. Cursed objects. Anyways, the biggest thing, Yuta is back, and for you who have not read the prequel, please do yourself a favor and read the prequel. It's in the Shonen Jump app, it's all over the internet. You just go read Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 0. It is very important, and people have asked me if it's canon, and yes, it's most definitely canon. And Yuta's comeback was so much more than what I expected, and it was great. I knew he was coming because I saw the colored page earlier this week. I got spoiled a little bit, but yeah, that's another reason why I don't do the live reacts anymore. If I get spoiled, it doesn't matter. I just tell my thoughts. But yeah, he's back. His comeback was absolutely awesome. I was losing my shit with every page. He clearly seems really different from how he was in the prequel, in that he's matured more, he's more serious, but he still has his tender side, as we see with the little girl that he saves. But more interesting than that, Rika is back. And for those of you who don't remember, Rika Orimoto is his cursed spirit slash like childhood love that died and cursed him, and she's possibly the strongest spirit we've seen in the verse, like maybe comparable to Sukuna, and I'll go over that later. But she's back based on this one statement that Yuta made, telling her to take it easy. We haven't seen Rika, but he spoke to her, so we assume she must be back. Now, Rika was dispelled in the prequel, and she was stated a few times in Jujutsu Kaisen itself to be gone. So I remember, I think it's Panda maybe, or someone else, who says that Rika is gone when they mentioned the Goodwill event, like, because they say Rika was still here, meaning she's not there anymore. Geto says that Yuta no longer has Rika, and Gojo doesn't disagree, so that really doesn't put anything forward to Rika still being around. So Rika being back must be something that happened recently, which leads me to believe that it has something to do with Geto's countrywide idol transfiguration, which is Mahito's curse technique, and he altered people's brains and stuff. The reason I think that is just, well, it seems like the obvious choice, but also I noticed when I was looking back in chapter 136 that there was a suspicious panel behind a speech bubble which looked like Yuta's jacket when Geto was referring to people who had consumed cursed objects. So what else is new, and why is Rika being back such a threat? Actually, I'll go following the list, and then so I don't cross over myself. Yuta's now following orders, which is bad for Yuji, but you'll see. A lot of people think that Yuta is lying or faking to the higher-ups that he is following their orders. I don't think that's the case. I don't think he's faking it. He offered a binding vow, and he provided a really good personal reasoning to be going after Yuji, which, of course, if you read the chapter, you know he's going after Yuji. Which is that Inumaki got his arm cut off by Yuji. And now, we didn't see this. I believe this probably happens off-screen or after the Shibuya accident takes place, because this chapter appears to be maybe a few days, weeks after the arc, because people are talking about it in hindsight and not as something that's presently happening. So at some point Inumaki gets his arm chopped off. But this is good because, at least for me, because I love Maki, because this means that Maki might still be alive. Because if Yuta's reasoning for going after Yuji is just that Inumaki lost his arm, that probably means that Maki is safe and sound. And that would definitely be noteworthy if Yuta is mentioning reasons that he has a grudge with Yuji. And man, I absolutely love this. Everybody was expecting Yuta to come back and be like the new Gojo and like be the new leader and take care of Yuji and like be his senpai or something. But no, Gege really went for the most disruptive and chaotic choice possible. Yuta is an enemy, he's not a friend. And I find that absolutely brilliant, because like you really don't know where this series is going ever. It keeps you on your toes, and it's just conflict is what makes a story. So if he furthers the conflict in a way that's like this big, it's awesome. Like the higher ups are using Shibuya incident to basically like get rid of anybody who would challenge their order, and now that we know that Yuta is in favor of their order, you're kind of like, oh fuck, they're really strong now. Because, dude, Gojo was deemed an accomplice and he's left to be sealed. So even going after him means you're a renegade. So not only do you have to fight crazy strong people like Geto and Uraume, you're also going to have to fight Jujutsu Society yourself if you're going to try to unseal Gojo. And this is, it's great because it's been foreshadowed that something like this might happen at some point, because earlier in the series they do mention that special grade sorcerers are kind of a nuisance because they can't be controlled, so that grade 1s should be the pillar of society. So as far as the higher ups are concerned, fuck the special grades. They don't care about them. Like, if they can't be controlled, they want them gone. And that's kind of, you see what's happening with Gojo right now. He couldn't be controlled, and now they kind of kicked him to the curb. Principal Yaga is also being blamed and framed for the incident, and he's condemned to death, which is crazy because that's literally the principal of Jujutsu High in Tokyo. And now Yuji's death sentence has been lifted, and Yuta is his executioner. Now, a lot of people don't see how much of a big deal Yuta being his specific executioner is. Yuta's threat is absurd, completely absurd. He is possibly the strongest person alive in the verse right now, and here's why. Geto in the prequel said that he was 99% sure that he would be able to take the entirety of the Jujutsu Society in the war if he acquired Rika. That means Gojo as well. And if it wasn't clear before, Gojo was the current strongest character alive until he got sealed. Geto was confident he could beat Gojo. And this is not a throwaway statement or something that's like being cocky. Geto was talking about strict percentages. He was like, if we don't get Rika, we have like a 20% chance. We have a 30% chance if the rest of society doesn't come. But if we do get Rika, it skyrockets up to a 99. Geto is Gojo's best friend. He is aware of how strong the guy is. And he thought there was 99% chance he would win against Gojo and everyone else if he had Rika. That's how strong Yuta is. Now, of course, Geto has other powers, but when you notice that it skyrockets from 20% to 99% based on having Rika or not, you can imagine that Rika is doing most of that work. Which means Yuta is an absolute monster, and I'm pretty sure that even 15%, oh no, not 50%, 15 finger Sukuna would not even be a match for Yuta. So I think, honestly, if Yuji runs into Yuta without having Yuki around, Yuki, for you guys who don't remember, is the 4th special grade sorcerer, he is dead. He's either going to have to find some way to run or die, because not even Sukuna is going to get him out of that. Sukuna is currently not strong enough, unless you believe that Sukuna would have been able to, at 15 fingers, put a fight up against Gojo, which I don't think is the case. Now, something that I want to mention is that, like, now there are obviously new factions in the verse, and I'm gonna break them down here for you guys. And so I'm basically gonna break them down into confirmed members, which of course there's no confirmed members, but there are members that I'm pretty certain are gonna be in each faction, and possible members. So the first one are the Exiles, which I'm gonna call Team Yuji. They're gonna be Yuji, Megumi, and Nobara. These three are kind of obvious. Like, I don't think Gege would split up his 3 main cast, and I don't think, from a character standpoint, Nobara or Megumi would like kick Yuji to the curb and go fight him. So I don't see that being a thing that's gonna happen. Those 3, I'm absolutely certain, are gonna be in Team Yuji. I mean, Yuji's in Team Yuji, obviously. Todo thinks of Yuji as a brother because of the theory that we all have that basically Yuji was cursed by his grandpa, and he makes people get memories and believe that he's part of their family so that he won't die alone. I mean, that's just my interpretation of the theory. Principal Yaga, of course, I mean, I don't see Principal Yaga just being like, yeah, kill me. I think he's gonna join Team Yuji, of course. Panda, not only because Panda has already shown that he still cares for Yuji even after the rampage with Sukuna, but Yaga is basically his dad. I think Yaga would go with Panda. Panda goes with Yaga, of course. I think Panda's gonna be in that team. Choso, which is the 3rd blood brother, if you guys will remember. He is most definitely gonna be with Yuji because he as well also thinks of Yuji as a brother. So I don't see him being in any other faction. Now, possible team members. Maki. Now, this second one I'm a bit shaky on because he got his arm sliced off by Yuji, but I think he would understand based on everything else. Inomaki, Toge, curse speech user. I think Miwa would also join. It just fits her character. Ever since Goodwill, she never really wanted to kill Itadori, and it just seems like something that she wouldn't be okay with, and especially since she made such like a big resolve in like 2 chapters ago, I don't see her being against Yuji. Now, a reason why she might be against Yuji, which is a counter reason, is because Kusakabe, her teacher, is definitely against Yuji, and I'm gonna go over that later. So I'm a little bit shaky on her as well, uncertain. Yuki Tsukumu, the 4th special grade sorcerer besides Geto, Gojo, and Yuta. I think she's definitely going to be in Yuji's team because I feel like she probably thinks that Yuji's team has the best chance of taking out Geto. And she already has been kind of like shown to be someone who's not really super involved in Jujutsu Society, so I don't think she would bend over to their will. And if Yuki joins Geto's family, and not Brain Geto, like the original Geto, his family would also join because they also have the common goal of defeating Brain Geto and taking over the body. Their goals all align, so I don't see why they won't work together to at least some extent. The ones that I'm most shaky on are Miwa and Inumaki. But the rest seems good. Now, the Jujutsu Society team, aka the anti-Yuji team, and the confirmed members are, unfortunately, Yuta. Or fortunately, I think it's a great development for the story. Yuta, all the Jujutsu elders, so I'm not going to name them all because you guys get who it is. Kusakabe, who is the special grade sorcerer, not special grade, first grade sorcerer that wields a sword, and he defended Miwa and the rest when they were fighting Brain Geto. And I think Noritoshi Kamo, not the old Noritoshi Kamo, the current one, the one that has his eyes slanted and like fought Megumi in Goodwill. I think he's also most definitely going to be anti-Yuji. He was already like completely pro killing him back in Goodwill, so I don't see any reason why he would just change his mind suddenly. He hasn't really spoken to Yuji, and he has even more reason not to distrust him. As for possible members of the anti-Yuji squad, I would say that probably the rest of the Kyoto school, since their principal was pretty adamant on killing Yuji, so I feel like they would have probably a similar mindset, or at least a I'll follow the orders mindset. And finally, Hakari. And Hakari, for those of you guys who don't remember, is the third year that was often showed to be paired and friends, or at least close to Yuta. He hasn't appeared yet in the story, but he's been mentioned a few times and shown in the anime opening, shown in flashbacks and such. I feel like just because of how close he seems to be to Yuta, he would probably be against Yuji and following society, especially because he doesn't know Yuji himself, so he has no reason to really align with him. And the final team would be Team Brain, also known as Team Geto with the stitches, or Team Noritoshi, or whatever you want to call Brain. We don't really have a name yet. So for Team Brain, the confirmed members right now are just Brain Geto and Uraume, but also many of the new cursed users who are going to be awakened by his countrywide idol transfiguration. I think they're most definitely going to join him because he's going to promise them more power, and you know how stories usually like this usually go. And a possible member would be Sukuna. Now, we don't know exactly what the relationship between Sukuna and Brain is. Brain seems to know Sukuna personally, which is why he was able to tell, like, in specific detail to like Jogo and the rest, how many Sukuna fingers they're equal in power. He even like addresses him directly, mentions the Heian era, which is presumably when Sukuna was alive and a human before he became cursed. And yeah, it's just crazy. I really love this like multilateral dynamic that the series is introducing. It really like creates a sense of urgency, and also like it's not just us versus them. It's like everyone versus everyone, and it's really cool dynamic for the story. Now, speaking of Brain and Sukuna, Brain mentions that they're going back to the Heian era of sorcery, which is, as I said, presumably their era of birth. Now, I've been having this theory for a while, but my theory is that Gojo is not actually like this monster in terms of the world of Jujutsu Kaisen as a whole. I just think that he's a sorcerer that was as strong as a Heian era sorcerer, but he was born in the weakest era. And why do I think that? Gojo mentions quite a few times that a lot of people have potential to be as strong as he is. Sukuna is a guy, he was originally a human who was just that strong that he couldn't be beaten, and he was born in the prime era of sorcery. He presumably is someone who would be like a human who would be as strong as Gojo, or at least comparable. I think Sukuna might actually be stronger than Gojo at full power, and Gojo really has no agency to say otherwise, because I mean, why? How would he know? He has never seen a full power Sukuna. And specifically because Brain Geto thinks that reviving Sukuna, even if they couldn't seal Gojo, would be enough to turn the tide around and make the curses win. Since Geto knows both how strong Gojo is and Sukuna is, it sort of points to the fact that Sukuna at full power might be stronger. Now, Another thing, Gojo himself mentions that someone who had his exact power set, which was the Limitless Curse Technique and Infinity, was able to stalemate someone who had Megumi's 10 Shadow Technique. Which means someone with Gojo's exact power set lost or tied with someone who had Megumi's exact power set. Which means Megumi at full power would likely be comparable to Gojo. Again, reinforcing the fact that sorcerers as strong as Gojo do exist, just they didn't exist in this era because this era that they live in is currently, or was currently, weak before Geto did all this brain hiding. Sorry, it's confusing with brain and Geto. And finally, I mean, Yuta himself has a curse that supposedly would be able to defeat Gojo. And he mentions that Hakari also has potential to be as good as him when he was thinking about Todo. And now I think Todo is a little bit more shaky, but Gojo did consider Todo as someone who had potential to like reach this beyond special grade level. I don't know how trustworthy that is, so I won't really make any claims about it. But finally, Yuji himself, who is going to end up inheriting all of Sukuna's techniques, would also likely reach that Gojo level. So I think that's really interesting because now the fights are just going to be this entirely new dynamic. And I really think that by the time that Gojo isn't sealed, a lot of people are going to be able to put up a fight or even beat him, which is going to be super interesting for the series. But in the end of the day, I don't even think the series is going to go on for that much longer because Yuji has already eaten 15 out of 20 fingers that Sukuna has. And as we know, Sukuna is most likely going to be the main antagonist, or he's at least an endgame level character at full power. So I don't think the series is going to go much further beyond Sukuna being at 20 fingers. So I really am curious as to how Gege is going to like ration these fingers at this point and like see how the story is going to go forward. I just love how he sped up the pacing with the Shibuya arc, and it just completely changed the status quo of the story. Everything is different. Nothing, like, you feel the stakes. So many people that were important and dear to us died, both friends or foes. The world changed completely. New players are in the game, and it's just phenomenal. I really like this arc. It's probably one of my favorite new gen arcs, if not my favorite new gen arc. And I just, wow. But yeah, guys, this was about all the notes I had. It's kind of a ramble video where I just talk to you guys and tell you guys everything I think. But please let me know if you have any theories about Jujutsu Kaisen. Leave it in the comments. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and yada yada yada. You know, that really helps out. We're trying to grow the page, trying to get more series as a channel in 2021. But hey, let's see where this all goes. Thank you for watching until the end, and I'll see you next time. Fiction Ape out the gate.